Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar today. Hope you all had a great morning. CAS 360 webinar. So this is webinar. And my name's Andy, and I am one of the CAS 360 product owners, and I'll be the one who runs through the session today. And joining me with the questions are Anna and Jeremy. So they're online here, and they'll be helping me to answer any questions that you might have. So if you've got any questions during the presentation, feel free to type them in the Q&A session, and we will try our best to have them answered. And this session is being recorded, and it will be available on the CAS 360 community later. So in this session today, we will be covering a few topics. So the first one will be a quiz, and then we will dive right into CAS 360 to show you the new features that we have released in the March and April release. And at the end, we will have a Q&A session. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to talk about is the ASIC and industry updates. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is the staffing changes. As of 15th of April 2021, ASIC registry is now being run. Okay, so it looks like we're having some audio issues here. So excuse me, everyone, please bear with me for a minute. Hello, thank you for waiting. So just testing again, and please let me know if the audio is better now. So testing 1, 2, 3, testing. Please let me know, like you can type in the Q&A or the chat. Just let me know if the audio is better now. Okay, thanks for all the responses. Yes, thanks everyone. Okay, let's start again. And thank you for all your patience. Okay, so let's start with the ASIC and industry updates. So as of 15th of April 2021, so that's about a month ago, the ASIC registry is now being run by the ATO. So what does that mean? So at the moment, this is a staffing change only. It doesn't change your registry obligations, and it doesn't change how you interact with the ASIC registers at this time. And this staffing change is part of the Modernizing Business Registers program. As the program rolls out, ASIC will keep all of us up to date with any other changes that may affect us. And of course, we will continue to communicate with you on all our different platforms with any changes. And the second thing is, if you've been following us in the other webinars, you would have heard a lot about the director IDs recently. So from the last meeting, what we've been told is they've got the first director ID that's registered in their private beta. So this is still in a very, very early beta stage on the ATO side. I would say there's still a fair bit to go. However, in late 2021, so by the end of this year, CAS 360 should have some nice features for you to handle all these director IDs and things. And if everything goes as ATO's plan, all directors will need a director ID by the end of 2022. So we still have more than a year. And BGL is working with the ATO to build APIs for the director IDs and the new registry service. So as the Modernizing Business Register goes, we will make sure CAS 360 is constantly updated to handle all these changes and needs. And if you want to keep yourself up to date with all this information, so you can keep joining our new features webinar. So if you've got any updates, we'll have them announced here. And you can also refer to the ASIC website. If you log into the ASIC website and just search for modernizing business registers, they will put their updates on there as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next section, the March and April new features demo. Okay. So in this part, I'll cover the new features that we've released in the March and April release. And if you want a full list of the features that we have released, it's always good to go to the community. So whenever we release new updates, we will make a post in the community. So we've got the March release post here. So it will list out all the new features. And sometimes we've got videos for the new features as well. So for some features that requires a lot of steps and we want to demo and show you, we will also have videos in here. And all the previous webinars can be found in here as well. So just click on the tag webinar. Then you will see a list of all the past webinars. So all the new features and some of the online courses and some of the integration demos, they will all be posted in here, including the one that I'm doing now. You will be able to find that in here later. Okay, let's get started. So the first new feature that I would like to show you is in the trust screens. So in recent releases, we've added quite a lot of updates and functions in the trust screens, and we're constantly improving them. So the first thing I would like to show you is the relationship screen information hover. So the hover has always been here for you to quickly look at the information of that contact. But what we've updated in last release is the information hover for trustees that are a CAS 360 company. So when you add a trustee, there's an option here to link it to a CAS 360 company. So if it's a company that you also manage, you can toggle this on and select that company from here. And this is what this company is. So in that hover now we show more information. So we include all the important information like the company number, the address, and all the offices of that company. So all the current offices of that company. So where do we get this list from? It's basically from the offices list of the company. So it's the same list from here, but now we include that in that information hover. So what this could help you is because when you prepare documents for that company, for this trust, I mean, when you prepare documents for this trust and you need to make sure the correct trustee signs the trust, signs for the trust documents, then this is the list that you can refer to. And the second new thing that we've added is the support of the trust meeting address in the address usage report. So this meeting address here, if you run an address usage report, so just search for that address. So the trust meeting address is now included in this address usage report. And the next update in the reports is we've included the trust vesting date in the trust listing report. So if you go to reports, prepare trust listing, I'll select all of the trusts. So now the vesting date is one of the default columns in this trust listing report. Okay, so these are the new things that we've updated related to these trust functions. So the next big feature that I would like to show you is the bulk annual review. So most of our time in the last month, I would say, has been spent writing and testing this feature. So I hope all of you like this feature because we really put in a lot of effort to make this nice and easy to use. So before last release, you know, when in the annual review screen, when you want to prepare an annual review, you have to like do it one by one. So what you need to do is you had to click on prepare documents for each of them and download or send them all one by one from here. So from last release, we have released this bulk annual review function. So basically what that can help you is if you've got all the signatories and all the information ready for all those companies, basically you can just include them all and prepare them all in one go. So I'll just go through the screens and functions for you. So as you can see here, now you've got the ability to select more than one record. You can also use the button here. So there's some quick options here for you to select. If you want to select all the ones that passed. So the passed here means the ones that passed the comparison report. So you can choose select all passed, and you can see these two are not selected because the comparison report's not passed. Or you can just simply click select all, then it will select all the companies in this list. So just to demo for now, I'll just select 5 as an example. So let's say I want to prepare all the documents for these 5 companies, all the annual review documents for these 5 companies. I'll select these 5. And I've got 2 options here. I've got the prepare documents button here, and I've also got the options to mark them all as document processed. So if I just need to get them off the screen, I don't need to prepare any documents. I can use this function to mark them all as document processed. So I'll click prepare documents for now. I'll get a warning if I'm trying to prepare documents for the one that's failed the comparison report. So I've selected including this one, which is a failed one. If I click prepare documents, it will just ask me to confirm if I actually want to go ahead with preparing the document for this company. So I can choose to include that one. I'll click proceed, or I can just click proceed with only passed. Then it will leave this company out. So I'll click proceed with only passed. Then I will be brought to this screen. So you can see at the top, I've got 4 companies selected. So I've got 5 selected initially, and I dropped the failed one out. And I'll be brought to this select document pack screen. So it's very similar to the document production screen. You can toggle on or off the things that you don't want. And at the top, you can choose if you want to send it by using the digital signing or not. So if you choose none, then it won't use any of the integrations. And if you choose DocuSign, then it will use DocuSign to send those docs. You've also got the ability to choose different document templates. So if you expand this, let's say the cover letter document, You get the list of all the companies that you've selected. You can use different document templates for each company, or you can just use the main option at the top, which will then change all of the ones in there. And it will tell you how many different templates you have used for that document. And just like the normal document production, you've got the option to just download them, export them to PDF, or send it by email. So I'll just do export to PDF as the first sample. When you click download or send, it will first run through the validation just like normal. If there's any validations, it will all be captured in this screen. So for example, this company is missing an agent. So what you can do is just fix the validation errors from this screen and continue. So once that's done, you'll be able to find those documents in the document production screen. From here. And at the background, the system is also compiling the documents into a zip file. So once that's ready, you will receive a notification at the top like this. So multiple annual return documents are ready for download, and you can just download them from here. It will download all the documents in a zip file. And if you unzip the file, you will see each PDF for each company. So let's say if you're doing 50 companies and click download all at the same time, the notification will come up when the zip file is ready. And when you download the zip file and unzip it, you will have all 50 different PDFs in the folder. So this is how the download function works. So the next one I'm going to show you is how the email part works. So I'll select the companies again and click prepare documents. And this time I'll include this company as well. So this time I'll send it using DocuSign as an example. So deliver by email. And the validation screen comes up. So you've also got the function here to remove that company as well. So let's say if you've got a validation error and let's say you're not sure how to fix that at the moment. So what you can do is you can click remove. It will then remove that company from the list of companies that you're preparing the annual reviews for. So you can always come back to prepare that company later. So what I just did is I didn't fix the validation error, but I've removed that from this preparation. So now I've got 5 companies selected to prepare, and this is the screen where I can review each of the recipients for that company's documents. And you've still got one last chance to remove that from the preparation process. So if you just want to prepare for 4 of them and you want to remove this one, just click on remove and that company will be excluded. And This is also a new function that we've added in this release. This is the ability to add or edit email addresses for a contact within the document production screen. So previously, if you're trying to send a document via email and that contact doesn't have an email address, or if you want to change it, you can only do that in the contact screen. But from now on, you can do it directly in the document production screen. Okay, so let's say if you've gone through the list of recipients and they all look okay, then you can just continue by clicking on proceed. So this is the internal review function. So we've kept it in this multi-process. If you toggle that on, then they will all be sent to reviewed by that user first. So that's the same review function. So I'll just keep that off for now. So now I've sent those documents and you will receive another notification saying track the process. So I just click on track now. It'll bring up this multiple annual reviews tracking. So it's tracking the email sending process. And if there's anything failed, you can see it in here. For example, I've got an invalid email address here. So I might have got a bounce back or something. It will show failed in here. So it's basically the same kind of tracking that you've got from the outbox screen. But we know sometimes it's hard if you've done like 20 or 30 at the same time. So that's why we've got this tracking screen here for you. Okay, so that's the basics of this bulk annual review process. So since we've released this feature, we've got a lot of feedback and requests. So yeah, we're looking at ways to improving this screen. So if you've got any feedbacks or anything that you'd like to include in this bulk annual review process, so feel free to let us know. Like you can always send us feedback from here, and yeah, everything that you've sent through the feedback will be tracked and logged. Okay, and yeah, if you've got any other questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A and we'll try our best to answer them. Okay. And the next function or feature that I'm going to show you is a new integration that we have for company registrations. So for company registrations, you always had the option to prepare documents from CAS 360 and lodge them to ASIC using CAS 360. And you've also got the integration. You can use some of the integration partners' website and they can incorporate the company and send it back to CAS 360. And the new one that we've added just now is the integration with Entitymakers. So what you are able to do is you can add all the information using CAS 360. But let's say if you don't want to incorporate the company yourself, you want to use an external incorporator. So this is where this function can help you. So what you need to do is basically add all the company information in CAS 360. So I'll just call this 11 May demo Pty Ltd. And just need to give it an address. Add in the officers and shareholders information. And just save the screen. So once you've created that company in CAS 360, instead of preparing the documents from here, you've got the option to send that to the external incorporator. And you just need to log in. Put in your login details. Oops. Okay. And the company that you've saved in CAS 360 will be pushed to Entitymakers automatically. So this is the one that I've just entered, and that's the date and time. So that's just now. What you can do next is just review and make sure all the information is correct. So it's pulled directly from CAS 360, so you shouldn't need to change anything, but it's always good to just go through the list and make sure they're correct. So as you can see here, without adding any information, so I've got all the company type, business address, officers, shareholders, and I can continue and pay and get the companies incorporated and documents sent back. So all the documents that Entitymakers generate will be sent back to CAS 360. So this is the list of documents that they will prepare when incorporating a company. So they will fill in the form 201, the constitution, all the registers, minutes, certificates and things. And once that company is incorporated, the company will then be added back to CAS 360 and all the documents will be attached to the documents of that company. So if you want to know more about the Entitymakers integrations, you can log into their website. So it's entitymakers.com.au. So all the pricing information and all the documents available will be in there. And we've also got a webinar with them this Thursday at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's this Thursday. We will be putting a registration link in CAS 360 soon. So if you're interested and you want to know more about this integration, and if you want to know more about Entitymakers, so please make sure you join the webinar this Thursday. So that's the Entitymakers Integration. Okay. So I've got some questions here. Is there any way that we could get an entity makers draft constitution and trust deed? So at the moment, I don't have any sample documents on hand for me at the moment, but we'll try to see if they can like give an example of any of those things during the webinar on Thursday. Okay, got another question about the entities makers. So if information for the new company is not in CAS, how do we set them up? So if it's not in CAS, so I think if you mean the company and the contacts and addresses are not in CAS, so what you can do is you can just set them up like how you would normally do. If you're typing in an address that's not in the system, you can always create a new address and new contacts from these screens. So like this. So you can always create and add new contact details and addresses details from here. And if you're using the entities makers integration, you will be paying at the last step of this page. So from this page, you will review all the information from here. And this is where you will pay the fee. So the ASIC registration fee and all the documents fee, they'll all be included in the payment that you make in here. Hope that answers your question. Okay, got another question here about the bulk annual review process. So Melissa's asking if we're going to work on a feature allowing double checking the cover letter or add additional documents to the pack. Yes, that's something that we are working on. So we are definitely looking at this. So hopefully in the coming releases. So we just need to find like an efficient way for these to all happen. But yeah, that's definitely in our wish list. Okay, so I think that covers all the March and April new features. So if you've got any other questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A. And just before we finish, I'd like to let you know this year, so we will be holding BGL Richtek across different cities live. So after a year of virtual and online events, we're finally going to meet in person. So this year we'll be holding BGL Richtek in all the major cities in August. So if you're interested, you can go to bglcorp.com/bglregtech2021 to read more about the information. So early bird is open now. So if you want to get the best pricing, so now it's a chance to join. So if you want more information, feel free to contact us and our team, and we will be able to give you more information about the event. Okay, so thanks for joining this webinar today. So we're open for questions. If you've got any questions that you would like to ask, so anything about the things that I've shown you, or anything in general, feel free to type them in the chat, and we'll try our best to answer your questions. And if you don't have any questions, I'll take this opportunity to thank you all for joining our webinar today. Hope you've enjoyed it like we do. And yeah, if you need to rewatch any of these, this will be uploaded in the community later. So I hope you all have a great day ahead, and see you all next time.